And welcome back to Western New York Living. If you've ever been in an accident, car accident, you probably understand that the laws can be rather confusing. Who's at fault? Who's covered under what insurance? All these questions might come up. Well, it becomes even more confusing if you are in a rideshare accident. Joining us this morning to help us make sense of all these laws is attorney Greg Pajak from Cellino Law. Thanks for joining us today.
Pleasure to be here.
All right, so rideshare, whether it's Uber, Lyft, or whatever rideshare, what makes that different, and what should people know if they are in a rideshare accident?
Well, the first thing they should do if they're in a rideshare is call 911, obviously the police, and also on the app itself, you can say, I've been in an accident. You hit that button, it goes right to Uber or Lyft Central to let them know. That's the first thing you should do.
All right, so let's talk about the legal part of liability. If you are in a rideshare accident, is it the driver, or is it Uber, is it Lyft, is it some other company?
It depends on what the driver is doing. If the Uber or Lyft driver is actively Ubering, meaning he has accepted a fare, pushed the button on the screen, I'm going to pick somebody up, then they have somebody in the car, and then they're dropping them off. If he's hit that button and he's Ubering or Lyfting, Uber and Lyft is responsible under New York state law for that driver in full. If it's a Uber driver or Lyft driver that's just driving around but not actively Ubering or picking up a fare and gets in a crash with you and you're a driver, it's just their own personal insurance, not Uber or Lyft's.
It's all in the details.
All in the details.
So big question I'm sure people have is when it comes to medical bills, who's paying?
Well, if you're the driver, the Uber driver or Lyft driver, Uber or Lyft, and you're Ubering again, then Uber and Lyft have a program called the Black Car Fund, which is similar to workers' compensation, which pays for their own drivers' medical bills. If you're a passenger in the Uber and there's an accident, then Uber or Lyft's no-fault insurance company comes into play. For Lyft, it's Progressive, generally speaking, outside of New York City, and for Uber, it's Liberty Mutual. And those would be your no-fault insurance company, which would pay your medical bills and a portion of your lost wages if you're out of work.
So Greg, kind of ballpark this, but how much insurance is required for a rideshare driver to do that job?
The New York State Legislature passed a law which requires both Uber and Lyft to have $1,250,000 in liability coverage, meaning that if that Uber or Lyft driver does something wrong and they're negligent, the insurance company for Uber and Lyft is going to be on the hook potentially for that amount. And then there's $50,000 of no fault, which is the minimum required in New York State, which again pays medical and lost wages potentially.
Are there proposed changes to any of those laws that are in the works?
Yes, Uber and Lyft, not surprisingly, are actively lobbying the governor, probably as we speak, to undo the amount of coverage that they have to provide, which protects innocent people simply riding in an Uber or Lyft. They're trying to get that reduced, blaming us lawyers, of course, which isn't true, but that's what's going on in Albany right now. So we'll see how that shakes out.
So Greg, if I'm getting in a rideshare, do I check? Do I ask for proof of insurance? Like, how do I, as a passenger, know that I'm covered?
It's automatically there.
Okay.
If they're Ubering and Lyfting, that coverage is automatically there. You don't have to sweat it and worry, do I have to ask for proof of insurance? Not at all.
This is a two-parade weekend. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of rideshare going on in Buffalo this weekend.
And they should be ride sharing, absolutely. And they're well covered and well protected if they do.
Greg, thanks for sharing the info with us today.
My pleasure. Great to be here.
All right. The personal injury attorneys at Cellino Law represent injury victims throughout New York State, no matter what type of accident you or a family member has been involved with. Cellino Law can help. Their offices are located at 800 Delaware Avenue in Buffalo. For more information, give them a call. Cellino Law, 888-888-8888. You can also visit their website at cellinolaw.com to learn more about all the services they provide when it comes to legal services.